Hi, welcome to this SUSECON Digital session, Artificial Intelligence at the Speed of Excellence. Today I will be your speaker. I'm Alessandro Festa, Senior Product Manager for Artificial Intelligence here at SUSE. We will go through a journey that basically will start with our biggest challenges. What stops us from being successful, and when it comes to artificial intelligence. This is what we call, in a ideal data scientist pipeline kind of journey, is where we get our data. Then we will move to building our model, how we solve the problem required, and through a different approach, unique, modern, and innovative. And finally, we will apply the outcome of our efforts, so we don't need any more complexity in our life. And through the simplicity, to the speed and accuracy, rapid and innovative solution, we will solve all our challenges in an easy way through SUSE solutions. So let's start with it. First of all, we need to gather the data. Where we are, what are our biggest challenges? When I think about AI, I tend to describe AI as an iceberg. Everyone sees the part of the iceberg that is above the sea level. That is the shiny part that everyone is attracted to. We want to circle the iceberg, look at every angle of it, take a lot of pictures of it. But we always forget that that is just the teeny part of these icebergs. It's 1/9 of the entire volume of the iceberg itself. The biggest part, the most dangerous part, is under the sea level. So we can think about artificial intelligence like an iceberg, where everyone is focusing on the end goal in the part above the sea level, where the model is ready, has been injected in our application, and now is actually working on production. Think about a bot that applies to customer inquiries in a way that seems human and can actually enrich your customer experience. Or think about a predictive model that suggests you the best way to change a specific part of your infrastructure, of your engines, of your cars, and so on and so on. But we tend to forget that to go there, to reach out our end goal, we need to go through a huge infrastructure challenges stack. And that stack is starting from how we gather the data, where we get the data out of, how we treat this data, how we prepare this data, in a more technical way, how we do prepare our data sets, what are the features that are relevant to this data set, so that later our data scientists can build a model out of it. And where those models eventually will run. Are we going to use Kubernetes? Are we going to use high-performance computing for that? All those decisions need to be taken to be in a position where we can execute our pipelines, where the final outcome will be the model that we will inject in our application. So all those challenges are something that at SUSE we know very well, because it's in our DNA to solve infrastructure challenges. And this is where the big part of the artificial intelligence iceberg relies. If we take a look more at how the market is these days, what's the market position, we will observe more or less the same challenges and the same needs. IDC in its last forecast, AI server forecast 2020-24, says that more and more organizations are looking not just for hardware, but for a complete AI infrastructure stack. And Gartner reminds us, in Gartner Predicts the Future of AI Technologies reports, that launching pilots is pretty easily, but deploy them in production is notoriously challenging. And that can be again underlined by Forrester and other analysts that says that out project out of 10 projects in AI fail to reach out production rate. It means that they miss something. Maybe it's the business validation, maybe it's the technical validation. In the majority part of them is a mix of them. There's too many decisions that need to be taken before you reach out to production. That will basically fail your project. So let's be the model that can solve those problems. And let me start with a simple journey, the data scientist journey. A data scientist has a a simple use case. You need to develop a new AI pipeline, you need to develop a new model. So you need to prepare the environment. The environment could be potentially locally. You need to install all the editors that it needs. You need to install and configure the languages that you will use to develop the models, the frameworks, the machine learning and deep learning frameworks, maybe the tools from AI that you need to use that. You need to configure them. You need to be sure that there are no conflicts there. Solve those conflicts if they appear. And later also know how to push this model that is created up to the data center platform, up to the AI platform, remote AI platform, where you will train and release the outcome of his job. All those tasks are time consuming, have a degree of complexity that eventually will delay the job of a data scientist. He's simply not focusing on what is really matter for him, data science. And that means no time left focus on the model, and company complain around time to market. We are going to solve that through the first product I'm going to announce here, the SUSE Artificial Intelligence Playground. The SUSE Artificial Intelligence Playground is a product that allows you to have a pre-configured, pre-set up, self-contained environment where the data scientist just need to choose his favorite editor, the framework he's going to use, and also the template, or in other words, on which platform he will later push his models. He doesn't have to take any decision out of that. He just needs to choose what he already knows, so he doesn't have to learn again. And also, he doesn't have to care about how to do things later, how to build the pipeline, how to push the pipeline, how to run the pipeline. Because we already took the decision for him. We simply give them in a form of a template, so he can actually literally use them. Means he focuses on his real job, no delays anymore, and he can deliver on time, reducing the overall TCO for the company. But exactly like the data scientist, there's another professional in the AI project that actually care about what's behind the scenes. How about the infrastructure? That is the AI operators. It's a DevOps. We call it AI operator because his main focus is around the AI platforms. He has a different needs. The data scientist came to him saying that he needs a specific platform to run it. And so you need to figure out, first of all, what the data scientist requirements are. What is the hardware that he should select and use? Maybe he needs GPUs. Maybe he doesn't just need CPUs. Maybe he has a specific need in terms of storage. Then you figure out on which kind of infrastructure is running all this hardware. Is it Kubernetes the best choice, or is it high performance computing the best choice? And then later, finally, he has to select the AI platform that responds to the data scientist requirement. But what is an AI platform? Does he know how to install it? Does he know how to configure it? And does he know how to operate it? In other terms, can he monitor in the AI platform? He's probably not interested in Kubernetes per se or the high performance cluster per se. He's interested on the platform. Everything is running there in the way we expected. Here's introducing SUSE Artificial Intelligence Stack. And exactly as the stack says, this is a pre-set up, pre-configured environment, ready to go, where we drive through the AI playground, a way for the AI operator to deploy the infrastructure. We took again all the decision, the critical decision that he needs to, otherwise he should take, so that we guarantee that the platform will be installed in the right way, configured so it can immediately monitor in the platform, and then can deliver the platform to the data scientists in time. So no false promises to the data scientists, no production delays because of wrong hardware, software, or whatever decision you should take, no high risk of error anymore, and a clear outcome of what to expect from that platform. So the stack and the playground combined together allows both the data scientist and the AI operator to solve their needs in an easy and fast and modern way. So let's apply the outcome to these stories. We start from the customer experience. We start from an idea that whatever we're going to deliver need to be delivered in a way that the first focus should be always the customer experience. We want to make the life of both the data scientist and the operator easy, simple, and modern. So the playground, as said, is a self-contained environment. It's going through a cycle of releases And those releases basically allows you to interact with all the tools we are going to inject over time. Everything is exposed to you, both whether you are a data scientist or an AI operator, in a form of web UI. This web UI operates on Linux, but also on Windows subsystem for Linux or Mac OS. It can also be consumed as a container or as a virtual machine. The number of editors, the number of templates will grow over time, the number of tools will grow over time with the platform that we will support through the stacks. This is your entry gate. It's a simple way to operate through your infrastructure, whether it is local or remote, whether it is on-prem or on cloud, through easy steps. And then we move to the stacks, because again, customer experience is our main focus here. We make your life easier with the entry gate, but we want to grow you and allow you even to deploy and monitor infrastructure in an easy way. We need to rise above the next level. The stack is an optimized stack of products for the hardware underneath. We collaborate with the top player there. So there's an host OS that is optimized for the hardware architecture underneath. And you already see here two big names, Intel and NVIDIA. On top of that, you either choose a standalone version of it, based on SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, or an orchestration-based version based on our SUSE CASP version, so Kubernetes, or high-performance computing for the big data, analytics, deep learning kind of scenarios. All of them are combined with a storage area, like SUSE Enterprise Storage, that in the end is based on the open source project Ceph. And on top of that, we will basically apply an AI platform. Of course, we choose, because it's in our DNA, an open source solution like Kubeflow, like Argo Workflows, like Apache Airflow, like Jupyter Hub, and so on and so on. And on top of those platforms, you either will run containers or in the future even virtual machines. Again, optimized for the hardware architecture, so again for Intel or NVIDIA. We create an ecosystem of top players there. The logos you see in this slide represent the partners we're already working on that. Our solution has no vendor lock-in like others does. You can replace any part of it and still the stack can work with that. It's a flexible architecture. It can grow over time based on your real need. You can move from the standalone hub to the Kubernetes hub to the high-performance computing cluster easily, because we combine the same platform, it's the same tools together, and the playground is the glue to put everything together. Again, the same entry gate, different scenarios behind the scenes, but still seamless experience. It's the most modern infrastructure in the market at the point. And speaking about actually great project, let me tell you about the Intel partnership we have. Intel and SUSE collaborate on the Intel SUSE AI stack. It's an optimized infrastructure that leverages all the most modern capabilities of the Intel hardware architecture and software solutions like OpenVINO and OpenAPI to deliver as easy as possible your AI project. Everything runs on the stack that I described before, where Kubernetes is provided by SUSE CASP, where the AI platform is provided on top of this SUSE CASP, where the storage is provided to SUSE Enterprise Storage, and Intel provides optimization with regards to operating system for both the hardware and the containers runtimes. So TensorFlow optimized for Intel organization to get the faster architecture out there. And we did not stop only to the AI. We have a full set of solutions coming out. Means a stack for high-performance computing, a stack for data analytics, where you can integrate the Intel Xeon scalable platforms with the open source releases to do analytics. Edge devices solution, where we leverage OpenVINO toolkit along with the Edge stack and the Linux OS on Amazon Greengrass. And the database stack, we will provide again the same kind of optimization for the Intel Optane P memory and the databases solution. So as you can see, the stacks and the playground actually are working with the greatest top player, the greatest player in the market to provide the greatest solution when it comes to AI. So again, exactly like for the playground, we go through a cycle releases kind of lifetime, where the version 1 will be optimized on the Intel and NVIDIA hardware, again based on the OS, SUSE Linux Enterprise servers. using as a first tag Kubernetes SUSE CASP, and on top of that, the selected open source project will be probably Kubeflow. Later, but almost immediately in the very end, we will also support the high-performance computing that introduce another kind of platform, ARM. There's a session in the SUSECON Digital conference this year about ARM, NVIDIA, and SUSE that you can learn about that. And also, just as a reminder, take a look at other sessions like Supermicro and Dell that explain you how we create a reference architecture for both the vendors and the SUSE AI stack. So high-performance computing will introduce a platform in Jupyter Hub. Why this is very important? Because if you think about that, Kubeflow and Jupyter Hub, they share the same kind of technology. You can run your frameworks in a simple version using a Jupyter notebook. So you can basically literally reuse the same pipeline, the same Jupyter notebook from one instance to the other instance seamlessly. And again, the playground allows you to do so. Then in version 2, we will probably introduce the full integration of SUSE Enterprise Storage in an automated fashion, so you can deploy everything automatically. And then you eventually introduce SUSE CAP, that is our way to deploy more and more platform in a seamless way. So how's about the roadmap? I'm going to finish this presentation. We did a journey that started to how we look at the market, and then we move it how we build a solution, and then to explain what this solution is. But let's take a look at these things we're going to appear. The first step for us in 2020 was release the foundational steps. Can we support TensorFlow, PyTorch, the AI application in an easy way? If you point yourself to packageapp.suse.com or you point to scc.suse.com if you're a subscriber customer, you will find out that those packages are already GA today. You can literally pull and install from a SUSE package at the distance of zipper-in, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Caffe, ONNX, and so on and so on. We add them continuously, so they are already available to you. In the meantime, we are basically focusing on the intelligence playground and intelligence stack. You've probably seen in the Melissa keynote, the Melissa Di Donato keynote this morning, how this actually works. But again, the playground and the stacks will be released a few months after this conference in a technical preview, so you will be able to consume them. For the next year, we will mainly focus on both of them to enlarge the offering, more platform, more editors, more languages, more use cases solved. And then finally in 2022, we will start to introduce other combo capabilities. The SUSE Artificial Intelligence plugin for the SUSE products, to have a seamless experience between third-party AI capabilities and existing SUSE products. And finally, artificial intelligence predictive solution. Our product, smarter, with the power of AI. With that, I just remind you once again my contacts. I'm Alessandro Festa. You can reach me out at alessandro.festa@suse.com or through Twitter at BringYourAI, and I will be also online at the SUSE Digital Conference for the entire week. So reach me out, pose any question, or just ask me more information about what you see today. And with that, I thank you all, and I hope you enjoyed this SUSECON Digital Conference. Thank you.